Hi everyone, it's Tatyana from Tatyana's Everyday Food, and today I'm going to be making a really easy and delicious Russian food called plov. And today I'm making it with braised beef, but it can be made with a variety of different meats, chicken, lamb, just to name a few. This dish originated from Uzbekistan, and the Russians have really adapted it into their own cuisine and made it their own dish as well. And originally it's made in a large, flat Pilaf pan. I don't have one and it's not really practical for today's kitchens, so just use your largest flat frying pan that you have. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 1.5 pounds of lean stew beef, and I've chopped it into 1-inch pieces. We're going to need 1 large onion diced. We're going to need 3 carrots diced. We need a cup of garbanzo or chickpeas, and I just drain them out of a can. And we're going to need 8 garlic cloves, just roughly chopped. And for our seasoning, we're going to need some salt, black pepper, ground ginger, ground mustard, some ground cumin, and also some smoked paprika. And we're going to need 4 cups of beef broth. We're going to start the recipe by preparing our braised beef. So I'm going to take my beef over to the stovetop, and we need to brown it and give it a really nice deep color. It's going to add lots of flavor to the dish. We want to heat our pan over high heat and then add just a splash of oil into the pan. And once the oil is hot, we can start adding our meat. I'm going to add all my meat at once. And you want to make sure your oil is really hot because it needs to start sizzling in the oil as soon as it hits the pan. And I'm just going to season it with a little bit of salt and just a little bit to give the meat a little flavor. Once our meat has browned, I'm going to remove it and place it into a bowl. And then into this pan, I'm going to add my onion, my garlic, and my carrots. Before adding our carrots and our onion, you want to make sure to turn the heat down to about a medium so as not to burn your vegetables. Now I'm going to add to my pan all of my seasonings. I'm going to give this a stir. I'm going to cook it for 1 more minute before I add the rest of my ingredients. Now we can start adding our beef broth. And I'm going to return my brown beef back into the pan. I'm just going to give this a quick stir. Make sure that all your ingredients are submerged underneath the broth. I'm going to cover my pan. I'm going to turn my heat down to a medium low. You want to just let this simmer for about an hour until that meat is really tender. While our meat is braising, we can work on preparing our rice. We're going to need 1 cup of long grain rice, and we need to wash it under cold water until the water runs clear, just to remove the starch from the outside of the rice. That way your rice isn't going to be sticky once it's cooked. I've braised my beef for about an hour, and you can see how well reduced that broth is. It's developed a nice rich color. Just want to make sure to give it a try before we add our rice to make sure that it's salty enough. This is perfect, and it tastes so good. Now I'm just going to sprinkle my garbanzo beans into the mixture. Just going to give it a stir to make sure that they're well combined. Now the important step about adding the rice is that once you add it, you don't want to combine it with the other ingredients until it's all done. So I'm going to take my rice that I've washed. I'm just going to sprinkle it in over the top. Once you've added it, you can just gently arrange it so that it's submerged underneath the broth. Take a spatula and gently move it under the broth. And then I'm going to cover this and continue cooking it over a low-medium heat until the rice is done. I just took my plov off the stovetop. You just want to fluff it up with a fork or a slotted spoon. And now it's all ready to be served. Now traditionally it's served with pickles or marinated tomatoes, or you can just serve it just plain with maybe a tablespoon of sour cream on the side. This smells so amazing. I can't wait to try it. This plov is just out of this world. It's really, really good. The meat literally melts in your mouth because it's so tender, it just flakes and falls apart. And the rice has so much flavor from all those spices. It's just a perfect dish. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can find the recipe to this video in the description below and also on my website.